Is he coming?
No. Yeah, my son graduated.
Oh, lovely.
Thank you. Good evening, everyone. Would you please rise and join us for the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Please call the roll.
Councilman Dooley?
Here.
Councilwoman Nicholson?
Here.
Councilwoman Marcotte?
Here.
Supervisor Calavita?
Here.
And I'll have the record reflect that Councilman
Yes, we
Marcotte-
congratulate Councilman Marcoach on his son's graduation from Tuckahoe High School, which is happening as we speak, and we wish John Carlo the best going into college. He said that's number three down, one to go.
Yeah.
Anyway, the next matter on our agenda is a special presentation for the swearing-in of 4 new Eastchester police officers. I'd ask Daniel Cripple, Nicholas Scala, Michael Schur, and Elizabeth Fuchsenage to please join me in front of the podium. Yeah, just line up there. Yeah, face your parents. I don't bite, don't worry. At least not yet. Okay? Please raise your right hand, repeat after me. I do solemnly swear
I do solemnly swear
that I will uphold the Constitution of the United States of America,
that I will uphold the Constitution of the United States of America,
the laws of the State of New York,
the laws of the State of New York,
the laws of the Town of Eastchester,
the laws of the Town of Eastchester,
and that I will faithfully discharge
and that faithfully discharge
my duties as an Eastchester police officer
my duties as an Eastchester police officer
to the best of my ability,
to the best of my ability,
so help me God.
so help me God.
Congratulations. That's great. And restore the mic. Gonna do pots and pans later, clean the toilets when we're done here. No job is above the supervisor, right? Anyway, I want to just congratulate our 4 new members of the police department. They have gone through the entire vetting process. One was a transfer, but we know they're going to do a great job, and we are delighted to have this addition for 4 new officers into the department. We have a very young department, as you probably are aware, and the department is doing beautifully. Magnificent management by the chief and the XO and the lieutenants there. They're doing a great job, and we're very delighted that you're here with us, and we wish you the very best of luck on the job. Okay? Thank you. Now, if you'd like, you could hang around for the agenda, but no, you don't want to do that. So we'll take a 2-minute recess so you can be with your families and stuff, get some photographs, and again, we wish you very luck. Thank you very much. Thank you. Okay, we're going to move to the opportunity to address the board on agenda items. All right, we'll move forward to reports of departments, boards, and commissions. Police Department report, Chief Rodriguez.
Good evening, Mr. Supervisor, members of the town board. I would like to, again, like you said, congratulate the new hires. This is kind of their last step in the ceremonial process of being hired. I think they're all going to do very well. And I'd like to, thank the town board again for your support and, always making sure that we're able to fill the ranks and giving us the personnel that we need. Recently, the department was reviewed for our midway accreditation progress. We fared very well for our reaccreditation, which is going to be in about 2 years. In that, I'd like to thank Sergeant Pena, Lieutenant Castellano, and Andrew Wade for their hard work and dedication to ensure we were in compliance with everything. the accreditor or the reviewer was very impressed with, how organized and everything that Sergeant Pena had everything in the files. Last week, our department hosted the 5th grade DARE picnic at Lake Isle for Greenvale and Ann Hutch. We were fortunate to get it in. It was scheduled for the week before, but because of the smoke condition, they weren't allowed to have it. So they got it in last week. Again, Sergeant Pena, Sergeant Biaggi, Sergeant Dura, and Officers Chacon, John Castellano, and Bryson all assisted in the barbecue. I want to thank them. It was a great success. I also want to thank George Papademetrio from Lake Isle and the staff at Gigantes for donating the food. Over the past month, we've had 3 officers complete field training officer school. They're going to complement the field training officers we currently have, as some of them have moved up to sergeant or other positions. And they're going to be assigned to the officers we just swore in tonight. The 3 new officers from the academy will be completing their field training. Elizabeth Vuxenage, luckily, she just actually finished her field training and was on her own today for the first day. So it's a good addition. Lieutenant Bernstein completed the Mid-Atlantic Law Enforcement Executive Development Program at Princeton University. It's a week-long program. We try to send all the administration to, but you're only allowed at so many slots, so we try and send 1 person per year. It's a great program for administration, management, wellness, and kind of the future of law enforcement. Last week, or the end of last week, we had several members begin training to form an honor guard unit. It was something that was discussed previously with Bronxville and Tuckahoe. So we're going to have several members. They're going to have several members, and they're going to serve in celebratory purposes for the department and for the town. And lastly, we're still trying to hire PEOs, parking enforcement officers, and crossing guards. If anybody's interested, you can find the application on our website at eastchester.org, and you can mail it back to the police department. That's all I have to report.
Great. Thank you, Chief. We'll receive and file the May 2023 report. That moves us to the Law Department report. Mr. Rader.
Yes, good evening. First, I have an introduction of a proposed local law known as Local Law Number 2 of 2023, the Town of Eastchester Sign Law, which amends Local Laws Number 7 of 2002 and Number 5 of 2009 within the unincorporated Town of Eastchester, and to set a date for a public hearing. And I recommend that we do this at our August meeting, which I believe will be August 8th of 2023.
Yeah, I concur, and we'll get a copy of the proposed sign ordinance on the website for review. In essence, what we did was recognize that the law had changed substantially since our original sign ordinance had been prepared. There were a couple of particular cases, standout constitutional law cases, that emerged. And in essence, the town board, in partnership with the residents, have to make a decision. And there are, in essence, 3 paths to take. You can either have no regulation at all, and I address this particularly to the residential component of our community, because the business community is fairly well regulated, and they work on a business standard, and they've kind of been self-policing in many regards. But you could either have no regulation at all, which would mean anything goes, any size, any color, any lights, any content, anything. Or you could have no signs at all, not permit any signs, except for, a numbered on your house, or, like a doctor's plaque or something. Or what we have thought would be the best practice would be somewhere in the middle with signs, but, somewhat regulated and, not a free-for-all. So we've designed this ordinance in that regard. Also, one thing that we were very clear about, that we were advised, of course, by all the new laws, is that you cannot regulate content pretty much in any manner at all. You can regulate size, and you can regulate, lights and all those type of things, but you cannot regulate content, and that's pervasive throughout the content of the document. So most of the changes took place in the residential areas, but in the commercial stuff a little bit, but not really that much. And if you read it, I think it's really well done. It took a while because case law kept changing as we were doing this, but we spent a lot of time with Margaret Yulee and a special zoning council and Mr. Rader's office and the town board, and we vetted this thing a lot of different ways. And I think what we have is a good product, and I very much suspect we'll be seeing our product in other towns around the state. because we spent some time on it and produced something well, a good document. So anyway, so I guess I'll make the motion to establish a public hearing on August 8th at 8 p.m. here in this room, and we'll have our public hearing at that time to take action on the sign law. Someone care to make a second?
I'll second that.
Thank you. Please call the roll.
Councilman Dooley?
Aye.
Councilwoman Nicholson?
Aye.
Councilwoman Marcotte?
Aye.
Supervisor Colavito?
Aye.
Okay, next, I have an introduction of a proposed local law known as Local Law Number 3 of 2023, which would amend Article 2, Section 2-2, and Article 8, Section 8 of the Eastchester Vehicle and Traffic Code, which pertains to vehicle speed limits within the unincorporated town of Eastchester, and also to set a date for a public hearing, which again, I would recommend do the same night of August 8th of 2023.
Sure, and very simply stated, in simplest terms, we're seeking to reduce the speed limit within the town outside of the two villages, meaning Eastchester, for lack of a better expression, to 25 miles per hour, as opposed to 30 miles per hour, which is the predominant speed limit throughout most of the town. So we'll be scaling down the speed to 25 miles per hour. That is for posted roads that are owned by the town. It is not for county-owned roads like Wilmot Road or Brook Street or Main Street on those county-owned roads, or White Plains Road, which is owned by the state. They set their own speed limits, but everything else pretty much is owned by the town, and we're seeking to reduce the speed limit to 25 miles per hour. Anywhere it is posted slower than that, like in a school zone or the like, those speed limits still remain in effect. They're not, if they're 20 miles per hour, they're not increased at 25, okay? So anyway, I think we would definitely like to hear from the public on this. So someone care to make a motion to set a public hearing for August 8th at 8 p.m. here in this room?
So moved.
Second.
Please call the roll.
Councilman Dooley?
Aye.
Councilwoman Nicholson?
Aye.
Councilwoman Marcotte?
Aye.
Supervisor Colavito?
Aye.
Okay, next, I have the introduction of proposed local law known as Local Law Number 4 of 2023, which would replace and amend Article 3, Section 3-15A, and repealing Article 8, Section 8-24 of the Eastchester Vehicle and Traffic Code, which pertains to overnight parking within the unincorporated town of Eastchester, and also set a date of public hearing. Again, if we could do that on August 8th of 2023.
Hey, we might as well do that, and just so everyone's clear what we're doing, the town presently has a law, which Mr. Rader referred to, which says that between December 1st and March 15th, the winter season, snow season, you are not permitted to park on a public street overnight between the hours of 2 a.m. and 6 a.m., unless you have an exemption. Many streets are exempt. Portions of California Road, Manchester, Garth Road, a lot of places are exempt. But, people have been consistently asking over the years if we could not have the regulation in effect and just work on an as-needed basis based upon snowstorms. So the way this is designed is there will be a declaration by the superintendent of highways or by the town supervisor that a snow is anticipated, or it could also be, if there's a nor'easter or something along, it could be any natural act. You will get a notification that will make a declaration that you are not to park for 24 hours or whatever the time period would be, and then you must take your car off the street, okay? Those that remain on the street will get a ticket, okay? This is designed basically because we've had maybe 2.5 inches of snow last winter. The year before is a little bit more, about 1.5 feet, but people are saying, except for the 4 or 5 days of snow, we have almost 3 months where we can't park on the street. How about letting us park on the street? Kids come home from school, parents come over for the holidays, people are visiting and all. So the idea was to try to accommodate people's requests. And I will also add that we have couched this in its entirety as experimental. If it is abused, if there is a problem over the next winter season or two, we're going to retain the signs that we're taking down and pull the new ones down and put the old ones up and go back to the December to March, no parking permit, no parking at night, excuse me. So let's hope everyone signs up for RAVE. Rave is a successor to SwiftReach, which is our town hall communication platform. You can go on Rave, it's right on the website. You can sign up for notifications for emergencies, sports, senior events, anything, library events, whatever you want. You can be notified by text message, by phone call, by landline phone call, by email, by all of the above. You can designate other people to be notified in the event that you are in a place where you may not get your messages. So it's really comprehensive and really easy to use. I know it's another username and password, but we all have 50 million of them in our lives anyway. What's another one? So Rave is where you sign up, and that's where the blasts will be coming out. Plus, of course, we'll be making, robocalls to everyone that signs up as well. But if you don't sign up and you leave your car out, it doesn't matter whether you were told or not. If you see snow, you got to get your car off the street, okay? Anyway, so with that being said, would someone care to make a motion to have a public hearing on August 8th in this room at 8 p.m.?
So moved.
Second.
Thank you, Teresa, for a second. Please call the roll.
Councilman Dooley?
Aye.
Councilwoman Nicholson?
Aye.
Councilwoman Marcotte?
Aye.
Supervisor Calavita?
Aye.
Okay, next I have a resolution authorizing the approval of an application for a fireworks event permit submitted by the Village of Tuckahoe, which will be held on Saturday, July 8th, 2023.
So moved.
All right, I'll second Sam, and just ask the town attorney to make sure we get a certificate of insurance from the firework purveyor.
We have already, and I reviewed it.
Terrific, thank you. Please call the roll.
Councilman Dooley?
Aye.
Councilwoman Nicholson?
Aye.
Councilwoman Marcotte?
Aye.
Supervisor Calavita?
Aye.
Okay, and last, I have a resolution authorizing the settlement of two 2022 small claims assessment reviews cases, and they, both of them together, sum a total of $157.01.
So moved.
Second.
Please call the roll.
Councilman Dooley?
Aye.
Councilwoman Nicholson?
Aye.
Councilwoman Marcotte?
Aye.
Supervisor Calavita?
Aye. Okay, that brings us to the Highway Department report. Mr. Latella, we can receive and file your May 2023 report.
Good evening, Supervisor Calavita and members of the Town Board. I'd like to report seasonal flowers were planted within various right-of-ways, and flower baskets were hung on some of our main business areas. The flowers are a bright spot and provide a nice aesthetic beauty to our town. Also like to report that work under our 2023 street resurfacing project and sidewalk and curb replacement project are in progress. We ask our residents for their patience during this ongoing work. Just like to remind residents, during our last paving done on Garth Road, we were not able, due to time constraints, to paint our parking spot lines. So we will be scheduling that the first week of July when everyone does do the movement of their vehicles. Just be cognizant of the holiday during that week. We are scheduling everything one day after on the Wednesday to do the Tuesday and the Wednesday section of the northbound lane of Garth Road for that purpose. So just, if you have any questions, reach out to us at the highway and we'll fill in. We did notify some of the boards, so anyone out there, just reach out to your boards. We did send out a flyer to everyone so they are cognizant of what's going on next month.
Con Ed and California Road, they're starting up there again. I know that's been tough to reroute traffic up there. We're trying to figure the least intrusive, path of least resistance there.
They've started over a month now. They are working on their way. They're installing pipe. It's for a gas main down there. So far, it's been working out pretty well. It's just a little time consuming. They have run into a lot of rock where they have to drill out rock and stuff like that, but they are moving right along.
Okay, thank you. Thank you very much.
I have nothing further to report. Thank you.
Thank you.
No, you guys are doing a great job. Everything looks, the flowers really look great. It's good seeing you guys watering them and, all the guys.
We're hoping for some rain from Mother Nature, but
I know, yeah, but it's nice to see them out
Thank
there
you.
doing it, though.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Latella. Okay, receiver of taxes report for May, we can receive and file same. We also have the town clerk's report. Anything further? Supplemental? We can receive and file May 2023. That moves us to correspondence. We have a memorandum from the controller on budget transfers and revisions. I'll make a motion to approve same and ask for a second, please.
Second.
Please call the roll.
Councilman Dooley?
Aye.
Councilwoman Nicholson?
Aye.
Councilwoman Marcotte?
Aye.
Supervisor Calavita?
Aye. Next, I have a memorandum from the controller on part-time seasonal employees. We have a whole bunch of young people going to go to work for the recreation camps. A lot of them are new hires, some are rehires. But let's get these youngsters employed if we can. So I will make the motion to approve the list that's here and ask for a second, please.
Second.
Thank you. Please call the roll.
Councilman Dooley?
Aye.
Councilwoman Nicholson?
Aye.
Councilwoman Marcotte?
Aye.
Supervisor Calavita?
Aye. Next, we have a memorandum from the Controller regarding designated depositories and authorized signatures. We have the list in front of us, and in essence, we are adding a junior accountant. Frank is retiring in end of the year, I think, and we have his replacement on board, and we're, doing all the training now, in a 9-month advance curve, so hopefully she takes to everything, but the Controller's asking us to add her as well. So I'll make the motion, ask for a second, please.
Second.
All right, please call the roll.
Councilman Dooley?
Aye.
Councilwoman Nicholson?
Aye.
Councilwoman Marcotte?
Aye.
Supervisor Calavita?
Aye. Next, we have a memorandum from the Superintendent of Parks and Recreation regarding the approval of a grant for senior programs and services from the Community Fund. And the Community Fund was kind enough to grant us $53,000 for senior programs and services. And this is to obviously supplement all the town tax dollars we're funding this with for shopping and errands, light housekeeping, nutrition center escort, medical transport, trips to the Lake Isle Nutrition Center, programs at Garth Road, the Thursday morning group at Jackson Ave, 46 Jackson Ave, food shopping for seniors, and of course the Sundays Alive program. So we thank them. This is an $8,500 increase from the previous year. So thank you very much to the Community Fund. Someone care to make a motion authorizing me to sign the agreement between the two parties?
So moved.
All right. Please.
Second.
Oh, second. Thank you. Please call the roll.
Sure. Councilman Dooley?
Aye.
Councilwoman Nicholson?
Aye.
Councilwoman Marcotte?
Aye.
Supervisor Calavita?
Aye. Last, we have the memorandum from the Superintendent of Parks and Recreation regarding a grant for the teen scene from the Community Fund. And this is for $10,000 for the teen scene, for transportation and DJs and stuff. And we also have some game nights for the Southeast Consortium Teen Night. So I'll make a motion to approve same and ask for a second, please.
Second.
All right, please call the roll.
Councilman Dooley?
Aye.
Councilwoman Nicholson?
Aye.
Councilwoman Marcotte?
Aye.
Supervisor Calavita?
Aye. Miscellaneous business regarding July and August meetings. We'll have July 11th and August 8th at 8 o'clock here. Someone care to make a motion?
So moved.
All right.
Second.
Thank you. Please call the roll.
Councilman Dooley?
Aye.
Councilwoman Nicholson?
Aye.
Councilwoman Marcotte?
Aye.
Supervisor Calavita?
Aye. Next, we have council member reports. Councilman Marcoche is absent, so we have Councilman Dooley.
Okay. First thing I'd like to do is thank the Community Fund for, these grants that they gave us. And I know they send a lot of grants around town. It's a great organization. And when you think about donating, put the Community Fund first and center. Whatever they raise here stays here. So it's really a great organization. The money goes back in the community. So thanks again to the Community Fund. I'd like to also thank the Eastchester veterans. They held their Flag Day ceremony on June 14th last week. As usual, they did an outstanding job, just a great ceremony. Thanks for all they do in town. And then finally, I'd like to congratulate all the grads, from every grade up. Congratulations, and enjoy the summer and stay safe. Thank you.
Councilwoman Nicholson.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Supervisor. Good evening, everyone. Well, what's happening at the library this week? We have, starting tomorrow, Wednesday, June 21st, which is our first half day of summer, Knitwit at 4 p.m., so you can learn how to knit with Marissa. And we also have on Thursday, Crocheting with Faith at 3:45, and this week's film series on Friday at 10:30 and 1:30 is Jerry and Marge Go Large. And there will be a children's summer reading game starting Monday, June 12th, all the way through Friday, August 18th. And of course, you can learn more about what's happening at the library by going to eastchesterlibrary.org. And of course, they encourage everyone to become a friend of Eastchester Public Library, and you can become a member, register also online. And if you want to call with questions at 914-793-5055. And yes, a big shout out to all the grads this year, from kindergarten, preschool, I guess, and kindergarten to all the way through colleges. So enjoy and be safe. Thank you.
Councilwoman Marcotte.
Thank you, Supervisor. Just very briefly, I know summer starts tomorrow, and the very first concert for the summer concert series for the town of Eastchester is going to be on June 28th. It's a Wednesday at 8 p.m. up at Lake Isle on the driving range, and the first band is going to be Tangled Vine, and they are sponsored by Berkshire Hathaway, so we thank them for that. And then I just wanted to, I don't know if there's some confusion, but there is no early voting going on in the town of Eastchester. I know I've received some phone calls. I don't know if my colleagues have, but there is no primary here in town next Tuesday. For many of the cities, it is a primary and contested elections going on, but there is nothing going on here. So the community center will not be open next Tuesday, nor will any of the local average polling sites. So our next election will be in November. So I too would like to congratulate all of the grads and of course the 4 young newest members of our police department. I wish them well. May St. Michael keep them all safe. And Betsy, I have to say, went to school with my son. So watched her grow up across the street from me for many years, and it's nice to see the local youth coming back and giving back to the community. So that concludes my report, Supervisor.
Thank you for your own report. Just want to mention that we, the town board, or members of the town board, and the town engineer and the planning consultant met with the village of Bronxville, Mayor Marvin, their engineer, their hydrologist and all, as we advance a plan for the stormwater management in the, I'm going to call it the Crawford Road area. And we've gone through a lot of different iterations, but we're asking our engineers to start doing some calculations, figuring out what the best method would be to obviate the stormwater problem that we're having there. And I think it was going to involve some Village of Bronxville-owned parks within the town of Eastchester. And of course, we need the cooperation of Siwunna Country Club and, the patience of people on Crawford and on, a couple of the streets in that area there. But we're working toward a solution. And we do have some grant money together for some design expenses, but it's a big undertaking. But we think we have a couple of really good ideas that we're going to put in place first before we start ripping up streets and whatnot to try to solve the issue. Anyway, but we're going to keep advancing on that throughout the summer. That concludes my report, and that brings us to the second opportunity to address the board.
Okay, set this up right. Good evening, Bob Foyce, 105 Garth Road. Before I say anything, I want to say that I was very impressed with how the police handled a bit of confusion with the parking about a month ago. But I must say there was a bit of a confusion. We have been used to what seems to be an established practice. It's not a law, where we're not ticketed between 8 and 9. And I think this has been going on for 20, 30 years or longer. We understand there are going to be changes with the parking on Garth Road because there's there's more than a few storefronts that are going to be opening in the coming months. I can see that, and I'm sure you're anticipating how that's all going to work out. And I understand you got to be careful about the density in terms of the parking. But we didn't get any warning whatsoever the first day that they started ticketing us between 8 and 9, which we didn't want to make a big fuss about it at first because we realized that there were a lot of other factors in play. And then they went for about a month or so not ticketing, and they did it again with no warning. So a number of us on the street got tickets, and there was no notification in the change of policy. And I realized it's not a change in law. It's not law, apparently. That's the way it was explained to me. I mean, is there a clarification on how the practice started or how this happened on Garth Road?
Not really. No, just what happened was several people were complaining about the commercial stores, the retail stores, and they were, the parking wasn't being enforced. And then what happened was, the commercial stores started complaining that the town wasn't enforcing the parking on the residents that park in the 30-odd meters at the north end of Garth Road. So the decision was made to be fair and start at 8 o'clock with everybody, which is what the law provides.
In the future, if that happens, it would be nice for us to get a letter warning, because it has been a practice that's been apparently established on Garth Road for a long time. It's a courtesy, obviously, and I understand that, but it's a courtesy that has been an established practice for an extremely long time. What we are concerned about is that there seems to be a bit of a change in the density in the parking due to the number of the establishments you're talking about. We've seen cars park literally off the edge of streets, in other words, right on the edge of corners, not in actual spaces, not ticketed. We've seen cars, people just put tickets on their cars just to avoid getting a ticket. We're not sure why this is happening, but now, with people not parking between 8 and 9, that's creating an additional density issue for the other commercial establishments you're talking about. So it's working in the other direction, and it's a cascade effect on the rest of the street. And yes, we're going to have other density issues with the parking. There'll be a coffee shop opening. There'll be another gym opening. So there's obviously going to, and there's going to be the Chinese restaurant opening. So we're going to have other density issues. And so all I would suggest is maybe have someone take a look at what happens between 8 and 9 on Garth Road, just to better measure what the density and the parking is. And you might discover that you may want to have the residents parking between 8 and 9 to reduce the density for the gyms in the surrounding area and other establishments. It may actually be beneficial in terms of the balance. That's all I'm thinking. I don't know why they established the practice in the first place. We're always having issues with parking. I grew up the hill from Garth Road, so friends who lived around here, it was always an issue. It's gotten better over the years. But I just moved to Garth Road 3 years ago, and the big surprise was, I can park between 8 and 9, no problem. And there was no ticketing, and then suddenly there was ticketing. But the police were great about it, explaining it. But there seemed to be a decision made without really checking with the residents and how it would impact us, and we weren't giving any warning. And my only issue on this is that there is a boomerang effect, changing the density in one part of the street in terms of the rest of the parking, both for the commercial and residential parking. So it may be worth taking a look at that commercial section at the end of the street. There are some mornings where there's an incredible number of vacant spots between 8 and 9. So, and the people that are not parking there now are parking in spaces that'll affect the gym, that'll affect other parking spaces of other buildings down the street. So in turn, what's happened is you've created a density problem by removing the availability of parking, which was not causing a density problem. Now, it might when the coffee shop opens up and the other gym opens up, and I respect that's going to be an issue you have to figure out. But it may be worth having someone just take a look at what the density of the parking is between 8 and 9 for a few weeks to get sort of a measure. That's all.
Well, as the police chief reminded me, we now have Pango. So if you're in your apartment, you can always just go on Pango, pop in a quick hour, and you're all set.
Which a number of us do, but still, there doesn't seem to be any acknowledgement that there was a practice on the street of not ticketing us between 8 and 9.
Well, unfortunately, that practice is over, but, we'll do the best we can.
All right, thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else? No? Okay. Someone care to make a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. Thank you all.
Thank you.